I've seen him sparring in Vegas, getting left hook after left hook after left hook. He actually done a test that's like a bone density test, and his bone density is 6 times that of a normal human being.
Joe presents From the Corner, brought to you by DAZN.
Hello fight fans and welcome to From the Corner, the show that pulls no punches when it comes to delivering top quality boxing content with me, Swarzy Macaly.
And me, David Alorka. We have got 2 fantastic guests joining us on the sofa this week. So let's go ahead and meet them.
Indeed, in the red corner, we have a former Premier League football star who is now dishing out the expert analysis as a TalkSport presenter and pundit.
And in the blue corner, we've got one of the UK's most exciting boxing prospects, fresh from a big win at Ali Pali. Let's hear it for Jamie O'Hara and the Romford Bull, Johnny Fisher!
We're so excited to have both of them, but before we chat to our very special guests, let's take a look at what we've got on the agenda this week.
We'll be looking forward to an irresistible weekend of boxing action, including DAZN's gigantic fight night at the O2 featuring the cruiserweight world champion Lawrence Okolie.
I'm excited for that one. We'll also be testing Jamie and Johnny's knowledge of boxing quotes in our brand new game, Fighter or Figure.
And we will be discussing the action from last weekend, including DAZN's entertaining clash between Munguía and Ballard, before finishing up with our famous headband challenge.
Indeed, we've got so much on the show, but first off, guys, how are you doing? It's so good to have you.
Yeah, all right. I mean, you definitely got an expert wrong on my analysis.
No, that was right.
I'm not dishing out expert analysis, that's for sure. Most of the time, it's just nonsense.
Well, you've really got to be keeping up with all of the sports news and everything. So how much of a fan of boxing are you?
Oh, yeah, I'm a massive fan. I wouldn't say I'm an expert on it, but I love watching it. It's something I've grown up with, and I've always been part of trying to watch the big events and watch the big fights, and you see the young up-and-coming fighters coming through. It's always exciting.
Absolutely, and your co-host, Laura Woods,
yes,
also a member of the DAZN boxing family.
She is.
What's it like working with her at TalkSport?
Nightmare. Woodsy's great. I mean, I've worked with her for ages, and she's just gone from strength to strength. She's an inspiration, I think, for a lot of women. Got really quick, witty banter, right? You're not on the boil with her, she'll finish you.
Johnny, it's so good to have you as well. So tell me about your journey. How did you get involved in boxing?
Well, I've been boxing since I was 6 or 7, always been involved in it. But from the age of about 15, 16 to 19, I was playing rugby quite a lot.
Wow.
Because I played rugby. The first game I played, lucky me, broke my hand straight away. Didn't realise it was broken for a year, so I was just strapping it up, kept going with it. Went to Exeter, played a bit of rugby. Second year uni, my hand healed up. Done a bit of sparring with Joyce, had a couple of amateur fights. And from there, I just met the right people, signed with Joyce's managers. They got me with Eddie Hearn, and then 5 fights later, we're 5 fights in, and we're doing all right. Just got to keep going on the journey.
So Johnny, just in case anyone doesn't know what the Romford Bull does, let's check you out in action.
To those straight shots, good intonation from Fisher there. He's down. Ferrero goes down. He's ferocious, Fisher. He's violent. Then that gave us an indication of how heavily those shots were landing.
We saw your recent win at the Ali Pali, so now that the dust has settled, how do you think it went?
Yeah, it was a great night for me in my learning, my education as a boxer as well. To step up and fight the Spanish heavyweight champion, your 5th fight, I'm proud of what I've done in there, and I won comfortably. But little bits of that I had to overcome. So I had a little cut on my eye in the first round, had a few niggles in my hands and stuff. So little bits of experience that's going to stand me in good stead when I come into them bigger fights later in my career.
A lot of boxers at this stage in their career, they don't have quite that much of a following. Yeah. When you was out there, listen, there was more noise for your fight than there was for the main event in essence. So there's a lot on your shoulders.
Yeah, it is a challenge, but I'd rather have it than not have it. A lot of boxers envy the fact that I've got a crowd like that, and I'm very grateful for the support that I do have. And that's going to stand me in good stead when I get to them fights where you get into title fights later and you're 10-0, 15-0.
Now, people may not know that we've actually got 2 boxers on our sofa today.
We have.
Why are you laughing?
Nah,
Jamie, talk to me about the O2, man. What's happening?
Well, I'm fighting at the O2 Arena, 2nd of April.
Yeah.
It's a charity event, but it's getting a little bit heated. It's getting a bit proper. I was down at the O2 the other day in there and walking around. It's in the main arena.
Yeah,
you know, I've only gone to watch like Drake and Jay-Z there. And, you know, like now I was standing there thinking, wow,
That'll be me.
I've got to walk out. I've got to walk out to this and have a fight. And I forgot how much I hate training. You know? and it's completely different world. When I play football, you know, you got 10 other teammates around you, and bad as it sounds, you get tired, you can go missing for a little bit. Do you know what I mean? I'll just plot here for a minute. I'll keep it simple, move around, pass the ball, and I'll get out of the way. And then I'll get my breath back, and then I'll go again. Boxing, I've realised you can't do that.
Yeah, there's nowhere to hide.
There's nowhere to hide.
So you're fighting Chris Boyson, who's a personal trainer by trade, 8 inches shorter, 20 kilos lighter. Does it give you a lot of confidence going into this?
He's fit, and I'm not.
So
I'm
it
like,
evens it up.
I'm like the Andy Ruiz of the card. You know what I mean? Like, I'm just going to go in there like a big tubby bear. I almost said that I didn't really want to fight him because we were mates, you know, in a way. But when I actually sat down with sort of boxing experts and was like, listen, when you go in a ring, you're not mates. As soon as that bell goes, you're gonna want to steam into each other.
Yeah.
It's as simple as that.
I think as well, at the end of the day, it's you or him. You're friends outside the ring, you'll be friends before, you'll be friends after, but it's going to be you or him. I'm actually mates with Chris Boyson as well, so
And he said
I'm
he's
going
going
to try and
kill
get a bit of information, intel off of him and feed it back.
Yeah.
Well, you've got 5 weeks now.
Yeah,
For the
5
next
weeks,
3-4 weeks, get 2 free spars in a week with people more experienced than you, and you'll naturally just pick things up.
I actually sparred the other week, first time, right, and the guy, he was a good guy, come in, he's obviously an experienced boxer, and he's like, look, I'll look after you, I'll just teach you some things. And I caught him with a cut, and the first time I went, bump, bump, and I hit him straight on the nose. And I went, sorry, mate. And the coach went, don't say sorry, hit him again. I was like, that didn't feel right.
Now we've got to talk about your incredible fan base, Johnny. How did they come to be known as the Bosch Army? And then how did you amass so many fans?
Well, the Romford Football Army, or the Bosch Army as it's called, it's just got so many characters in it. You've got the original guy who came out with the word Bosch, Tom Skinner, who was on The Apprentice, who's a good friend of mine. Then my dad took Bosch and took it to another level, eating his Chinese takeaways and just causing mischief wherever he goes. My brother started filming my dad one day, eating a bit of Chinese, saying Bosch and having a chicken ball, and somehow he's getting 2 million views on each video he puts up now. So
Yeah, well, I think your dad's got a lot of reason for why a lot of people are coming to watch you fight. He has gone viral on TikTok, and for this video right here.
Sweet and sour chicken balls, sweet and sour pork balls, shredded chili beef, beef in black bean sauce, mini pancake rolls, large pancake roll, curry sauce, 2 portions of prawn crackers. Bosh.
Gosh, I didn't know that. Is that your dad? I'll put that in my group chat. I was like, this is me on a Friday night.
Big John.
How do you rate that Chinese takeaway, though?
I mean, that's a standard order, right? Standard order.
That's what I like to hear. That's what you need.
Johnny, people may not know that you've also got the books behind you as well. You went to university to study history. What was that experience like?
I've always been a fan. I've always loved it at school. My subject that I specialised in was the Russian Revolution. I've done a dissertation on the aerial bombing of Germany in 1944 to 45. So I just find it interesting and fascinating how different civilisations came about. And I sound like a bit of a geek, but I am.
Not at all.
It's brilliant. It's brilliant.
Yeah.
That's what I'm interested in, passionate about.
Okay, guys, we are going to play a little game now. And this week, we've come up with something that is inspired by our guest, Mr. Johnny Fisher, right here.
Indeed, and as well as being a talented boxer, Johnny has actually got a history degree, so we thought we'd go in and give him and Jamie some hard work to see if they can couple up together and give them some quotes that came from either a famous boxer or which came from a historical figure.
Let's play Fighter or Figure.
Cool, right, you need to work together for this one. Moral support and then the history degree, guys. So, quote number 1. Only a man who knows what it is like to be defeated can reach down to the bottom of his soul and come up with the extra ounce of power it takes to win.
I think that sounds like something Napoleon would say.
Ooh.
But I don't know. I don't know what. That sounds like a fighter as well. We've really set ourselves up to failure by saying the history.
I mean, sounds like a fighter.
It does, but
You got the degree.
I'm going to go with a fighter. I think it sounds like a
No,
fighter.
so I've talked you out of it. Go with
Which one?
Napoleon.
I think Muhammad Ali.
Hey, come on, let's see.
You've
Good
got
job
your
in
first
saying
point.
Nice.
Well done, well done.
Hey, good shout. All right. The next one. I'm a success today because I had a friend who believed in me and I didn't have the heart to let him down. Fighter or figure?
Well, judging by the logic, the last one was a fighter. Should we go over figure for this one?
Is that what you
That's
kind
cool,
of
yeah,
you're trying
no.
to play them at their game?
Honestly, I don't know. It sounds like something a politician would say.
Listen, hold on He's picking up on some clues here. All right, we're looking that in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Figure.
All right, we're looking that in. That was a quote from a famous American historical figure. John, you want to guess who it is?
Abraham Lincoln.
Hold my days!
Yes. Point number 3 then. First they ignore you, then they laugh at you, then they fight you, then you win.
Like a Lewis quote or a Tyson quote. I would say Mike Tyson.
Mike Tyson, you locked it in?
What do you
It's a
think?
boxer. It's got to be a boxer.
Yeah?
I don't know who,
It's not, I
but
don't think it's.
It's got to be a boxer.
Yeah.
It's actually wrong.
Oh.
It's all right though. You're doing well. You're doing well.
We got
the
two
fight
out of
done
three.
us, you know?
Yeah. Wasn't a history
word
That was a
question.
quote. That was a quote from a famous 20th century Indian figure. Any clues? Any hints there?
Indian figure. Gandhi.
Yeah, come on. Of course it's Gandhi.
Here's another quote. You don't think. It's all instinct. If you stop to think, you're gone.
That's got to be a
Sounds like a rapper.
That's a fire, isn't it?
But I thought the last one sounded definitely.
Yeah, I
was a
know.
fight.
but
Yeah.
That's come on. That's boxing, isn't it?
Instincts,
Surely.
You're gone. Is it fighter?
Yep.
That sounds like a Joshua quote to me.
I would say something like
Instincts,
yeah.
you're gone. Yeah. It doesn't sound like it's going to be right, but I think it sounds like Joshua.
It's a fighter, but it was, of course, the legendary Sugar Ray Robinson.
Maybe Josh has been nicking his bars though.
Yeah.
we went modern, didn't we? We should have
Yeah.
gone old.
Congratulations, guys. You got 3 correct, which is pretty good going.
Not bad, right?
Not bad, is it?
We talking
And
about
we
bad.
guessed one
Where's the
straight
bell?
away.
Yeah.
We won on points.
Yeah, we did.
It's time to turn our attention to an absolutely huge weekend of boxing for fans in the UK and Ireland, where there are some serious fights on the horizon.
That's right, and we are going to start with an eye-watering title clash in Glasgow between the undisputed light welterweight champion Josh Taylor and the challenger Jack Catterall.
Both fighters are undefeated here, with Jack having 8 more fights on his record than Josh. So, how much of a threat does he pose to Taylor?
I think this is a great fight. It's obviously good. Josh Taylor's fighting in his home country. He's done fantastic things so far. So, I'm really intrigued to see how it pans out.
Yeah.
I think Josh Taylor's going to knock him out.
Ho ho!
He's called
Big
it.
talk.
Tornado.
Let's go.
Also, this Sunday night, the Zone are putting on an absolute sizzler of a show at the O2 Arena, where the WBO Cruiserweight champion Lawrence Okolie faces a huge test in the main event.
The O2, the best venue in the country for boxing. Lawrence Okolie will make the second defence of his title.
This is a stage that I was made for. This is a fight I was made for. I got to make sure that I handle business.
Unquestionably the toughest fight of Lawrence Okolie's career so far.
If I believe I'm going to go on and unify the division, I have to be able to beat people like Cieślak and beat them in good fashion.
Cieślak is a real tough opponent. He's only got 1 loss on his record. So what does Okolie need to do to be careful for this fight?
Well, I met Lawrence a couple of months ago at a boxing show, and he is a huge cruiserweight. He is massive, and when he rehydrates after he's weighed in, he's going to be weighing a heavyweight, really. So, with the skills he's got as well, the power in that right hand, I think he's going to get the job done. Cieślak, obviously a seasoned opponent, but I see him taking over the whole cruiserweight division and then moving up to heavyweight.
You've got one eye on him as well.
Oh yeah, of course. But he's levels. I'm very honest about where I am. He's levels above me at the minute. If he's world champion at cruiserweight and he moves up to heavyweight, he'll be mandatory for a world title. But my good friend and Joe Joyce is currently WBO #1 as well. So that'd be an interesting fight if that ever happened, because Joe Joyce, I'm backing him all the way.
Joe Joyce, he'll get cleaned out by him.
Do you think?
Mate, he's a machine. I don't care what weight you are.
Yeah.
He'll put you out.
Yeah.
But Joe Joyce is
The juggernaut.
very, very special, unique individual. And I've seen him sparring in Vegas. getting left hook after left hook after left hook. Someone landed 4 left hooks on Joyce's chin, and he didn't even move. He actually done a test, like a bone density test, and his bone density is 6 times that of a normal human being.
So he's not human. He's
yeah.
What's going on there?
That would be a great fight. Someone like Lawrence Okolie versus Joyce.
Another highly anticipated bout on the card will be Campbell Hatton taking on Joe Ducker in what will be Hatton's 6th pro fight.
We caught up with Campbell for a quick chat about this weekend's fight earlier this week, and this is what he had to say.
Joe's he's coming in with a winning record, and he's had plenty of notice. He's had weeks of preparation, so he's going to go in there confident, and I think that'll be the main difference. He'll be coming to win, and I think that's going to work in my favour. To be honest, I think if you ask any fighter, there's nothing worse than a negative opponent who doesn't want to get involved, and you having to chase things and force things a little bit. And I think where I've got someone coming to have a go properly, it's going to give me a few more openings. Everyone who have boxed, they know they're in with a Hatton, and they raise the game 10 times. I was there for when I boxed on the AJ undercard. They did the weigh-in at the O2, and I've boxed on these types of shows for pretty much every fight. Obviously, the pressure will still be on me, but I've done it before and learned how to deal with that. So I think that is a little edge I've got on my side. Yeah, we've got a good relationship. Me and Matt. He's more like a mate than an uncle. But we enjoy ourselves in the gym. But he's pushing me all the time, and you won't find anyone working harder than us. So I think we've got it spot on, really. Matthew always says to me, just each camp, you need to just make sure you're going in there a little bit better in all departments, a bit fitter, a bit stronger, a bit sharper, and a bit more clever. And that's been the case this time. Going there, the best I've ever been, and I think I do need to with this opponent. It's a bit of a step up. So I know I've got to be on it. People will have their opinions on how far they think I can get, and I think Conor Benn's a prime example of how you can put that. You can silence all your doubters and all your critics, and I think I can get to the very top level. I think it's not going to happen overnight. It's going to take a lot of hard work, but I think eventually I'll get there, and I think I can get to world level.
He's brilliant, isn't he?
Yeah, he makes a really good point there. You know, like I can only go off it from experiences as a footballer when he talks about having to, like, everyone raises their game to fight him just because of who he is. It actually makes it so much harder for someone like him who's going to make mistakes, right? He's learning, he's going to make mistakes in the ring, but the scrutiny's on him straight away, and you know that means that really the pressure that he's under, he has to train harder, he has to learn more, he has to take in more. You know, and that, I mean, I had it when I dropped down to non-league, right? And being a Premier League footballer playing in non-league is like going to play pub football, right? And I was like, every time I walked on the football pitch, there was a young lad who wanted to get one over on me, wanted to say they like either two-footed me or run all over me. And that was hard, you know, like pressure. Mentally it's hard, like the pressure of it. And if you're not up to it, if you're not prepared, and if you're not pushing yourself more than that person, you look like the mug. You know, you look like the idiot, and that, you know, for a young lad, that's not easy.
Talking of Hatton, talking about his dad making a comeback at 43. Your face already says it all.
Why go back? I mean, I know it's hard, right? It's like a drug, right? It's like a drug. You can't get away from it. You miss the adulation, that walking out. You know, you miss it. You always think, can I get fit? Can I get fit and go back? Can I have one more? Can I do, you know, I'd give anything to go and walk back out on a football pitch for Tottenham and play one more game. But I know in my mind, if I think I'm all right. I walk out there and then I'm like, oh my God, someone get me off this pitch now. You know, and I just think, surely, if you're 43, you're Ricky Hatton. Like, it's not Ricky Hatton. It's an old Ricky Hatton.
Yeah.
I do think there's enough fans out there.
Yeah.
If people want to watch it, they'll watch it. So like all of his core support will probably tune in. But as you said, it's not going to be the same. It's never going to be the same.
But would you go and see it?
Yeah.
That's exactly what I was.
Right. It's time to have a look back at what was an incredible weekend of boxing action.
Let's start by talking about the huge clash between Amir Khan and Kell Brook at the Manchester Arena.
Jamie, were you surprised about how dominant Kell Brook was in his performance?
Well, I wasn't, because Kell Brook's always had that sort of power. He's always had incredible timing. And I feel like Amir Khan was kind of off what he would normally deliver, right? He hadn't been in the ring for a while. And I think if you're gonna have that sort of ring rust, is what they'd say, you need to have impeccable timing, and Kell Brook's got that. And you could just see he was just picking the moment, and he was just catching him. And then once he had that confidence, he was just walking through everything that Khan was fighting.
You've got to pay a lot of credit to the toughness of Kell Brook. You think to a few years back when he stepped up and fought Golovkin, you knew that how tough he was going to be, because he hung in there and hung in there, and it took a part of his body to physically break for him to have to be pulled out of there. So it's always going to be an uphill struggle for Amir Khan at this stage of his career. Maybe 5 years earlier, if they was both 29, 30, then it's a different story. But timing always beats speed, and you could see, I was in the arena, I was watching, just Kell Brook was walking him down, and he was measuring and judging, and that right hand just pushed straight through, and it was getting to Amir Khan. His left hook was working nicely as well.
Yeah.
Do you guys think this is going to be the last time we see Amir Khan?
Yes.
Yeah, I do as well.
Really?
Yeah, you could see it in his eyes at the end. He was done, right? I mean, when Kell Brook was walking him down and he was landing shots, and Khan was thinking, I want out of here. I'm done.
Yeah. And that's not the only fight that had us talking last weekend, because on DAZN on Saturday night, there was another intriguing clash between Jaime Munguía and Demetrius Ballard. Let's see how that one went down.
Yeah, that's Munguia's fight right there. That volume punching, but Ballard looking to time him with that right counter shot.
No, and he caught him with a massive left hook, and Ballard's against the ropes. He got hit again, and he's going to go down.
It's a beautiful check hook by Jaime Munguía. Caught Ballard on the tip of the chin.
Ballard is damaged goods. He looked over to his corner for help. He's not going to get any as Munguía looks to close the show. And they're going to stop it right there. It's over. Jaime Munguia's homecoming, a rousing success.
It was a seriously impressive stoppage there. At the end there, it didn't look like Ballard really wanted to be in there. What do you think is next for Munguía?
Well, he's had 38, 39 fights now, most of them by knockout, like 31, 32 knockouts. So he's going to be looking at people on the top of that division, surely.
As always, we're going to finish off the show with our trademark headband challenge.
Jamie, reckon you can beat a pro boxer at this game?
He doesn't look confident, but it would be pretty embarrassing for him, wouldn't it? But
yeah, I'm just going to let him win this one. Grab this one, Jamie. Give me some confidence.
Come back. Come on. Go on. Come on.
Go on, Johnny.
Come on.
Knock him out.
That's it.
Hey. That's hard, isn't it? Must be the prawn crackers.
Doing well, mate. Doing well. Come on.
We lost it.
Come on, boss. Get it back.
Go on, Johnny.
Go on.
Go on, Johnny.
Hey, look at the Texas.
That's it. One more. Bosh.
Hey! Yes!
Well done.
Hey, listen.
Got to leave this on.
Can't take it off.
Now, listen, a good shout from both of you. I'm going to start with Jamie coming in with a respectable 38.
Wow.
I'll take that.
That's all right. That's all right.
Hey, two more than Troy Deeney. Yeah?
I'll take that.
And the run for bull himself, Johnny Fisher, coming in with a big, strong 72.
Wow.
Hey! Second on our leaderboard.
Nice.
You know what I'm saying?
Really good. How's it feel?
Feels good to be in the top three, you know. I'm living my best life, aren't I?
You're massive, aren't you, by the way?
Yeah, well, if he stands next to me, he's all right.
Chineses. I've had 10 Chineses since the fight. It's all the Kung Po prawns I've been eating.
Guys, we want to say a massive thank you so much to Jamie and to Johnny in the building. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And guys, remember to find us on the Joe YouTube channel or wherever it is you get your podcast. This has been From the Corner, brought to you by Joe and DAZN. You've been listening to From the Corner, brought to you by Joe and DAZN.